calculated fields within pivot tables are one of the most useful features that you can use within a pivot table. It helps you to basically create some formulas at an aggregate level, some formulas that you basically would need to write, I don't know, some sum ifs and VLOOKUPs and so on in order to be able to implement it on a simple table. So let's have a look and see how that works in practice. I have created a very simple data here where you have region, product, date of sales, which is 1st of December 2023. I have sales quantity, unit price, and unit cost. And then total sale is simply unit price multiplied by sales quantity. And then total cost is unit cost multiplied by sales quantity. And then your total revenue is simply total sales minus your total cost will give you your revenue. Now, let's see if we want to calculate a specific KPIs that would like to know what percentage of sale is the revenue. So if we take into account our very first row of the data, then you can take number 80 and simply divide it by the total sales, right? And this is the number that you have. Let me change this to percentage. So 16%, basically the total revenue for this product share in Asia is 16% of the total sales. And if I drag it down, you have all of these values. Now, the question is, how would you summarize this on a regional basis? Because if you wanted to see this KPI, let's call it revenue over sales. If you wanted to do it for Asia, you need to first sum up all of the revenue that you have for the Asia region, and then sum up all the total sales for the region and divide the total of one by the total of the other, right? So you cannot simply calculate the values on your Excel sheet and calculate all of these percentages. And then, I don't know, if you sum them up, they will go over 100%, obviously, or even take an average of it, which is absolutely meaningless. Now, if you had to create such a summary, my guess is you would have created a manual table and you would have calculated the totals for each region, for each one of these fields, for total sales and for total revenue, and then you would have divided one by the other. Now let's have a look and see how we can do this with a pivot table. So if I select my data all the way to here, and let's go to insert and create a pivot table. I would like to have a new sheet, so I have my pivot table here. Now let's have our region here. Now, for values, I need to calculate something that I currently do not have. In order to do that, you need to go to one of the additional tabs that are added on the menu on top. So when you have a pivot table, if you're outside of it, you wouldn't see the items that we had before. If you click anywhere inside your pivot table, then the new additional tabs will be added. One is for design, where you can change the shape and feel of your pivot table. Let's say I would select this color and do some additional design changes to your pivot table. And then you have pivot table analysis, which you can do some additional things to your pivot table. In this case, we would like to go to the calculation section and click and select a calculated field. And I am going to write the same name that I had before. So let's say revenue over sales. Now, what we want to calculate is, number one, we want to sum up the value of, let's say, the revenue that we have, total revenue, and then we would like to divide it by the total of our sales. And what this calculation will do will depend on the shape of your pivot table. So depends on which fields you are displaying on your rows. It will take the sum of revenue for the selected fields that you have and the total sales for the selected fields that you have. And then based off of that, it will calculate this measure for you. Now let's select OK. And now it had correctly calculated all the values that we wanted to calculate. Let's change this to percentage. Let's have a look. Let's see, for example, if I added the product to the mixed, I'm going to add product in front of the region, and it is able to calculate the values for each one of these items. Let's remove region from this, and then the values are calculated just for the products. And basically, this helps you, like I said, save yourself some time by not creating a manual table and have everything that you need within a pivot table.